side. So you just get to see both characters really fishing for kill confirms, and they both just hit really hard, but neither of them really feel like they get to wall out in neutral. So you get some pretty interactive dash dancing and um, relatively straightforward gameplay, I would say.
Yeah, Orcane probably the character that gets hit most by what you were talking about earlier, Saber, with the sliding parry addition to Rivals 2. Now, suddenly, forward air and puddle bubble spawns can be a lot more risky to put out just on a whim, especially with a character as mobile as Zetterburn. So
Mhm.
we'll have to see how that plays into it. Immediately, both players doing runoff nair, so love to see that platform fighter brain still exists.
Exactly, but so far, I mean, I'm loving this opening here from GREMLINMAN, starting with the nair bounce, and just looking really comfortable with I was gonna say with this neutral, but yeah, you gotta be careful. You know, once you start fighting good players, you cannot pop bubbles, just willy-nilly. So we're seeing Sundra really establish early on that that's not something you can get away with. Um, Hopefully, we'll see how GREMLINMAN responds, but I do think that definitely takes a valuable tool off the table early in the set, which is very important if you're Sundra here.
And I think you're getting to see the key difference when it comes to players that are able to make top 16 and do extremely well, though, of course, plenty of players are able to do that, and we're just seeing 2 of them, is the faster you play and the more decisions you make quickly, the more results you're going to see. Like, just start making those decisions. Do things as quickly as you can. Play fast and play seamless, and you'll get rewarded for it. And Sundra is on something. He is zooming through as many of these interactions as he can, for better or for worse.
Yeah, I feel that both of these players, they definitely seem to have the approach of like, I'm going to make a decision and I'm going to commit to it. And if that works, great. If not, then I'll move to the next one. Something I want to call out, because it's happened about 5 times in this first stock, is that so far I have only seen GREMLINMAN do get up attack from ledge. Okay, that I don't like the commentator's first thing, but for the most part, I've really only seen that get up attack from ledge when there's a Zetto even remotely nearby. So I'm very curious to see if Sundra starts calling that out, just given how early in the set that's an identifiable habit. But right now they don't need it. Sundra's just doing a lot of damage.
Going with the Gatling there, as opposed to just taking like a dash attack and trying for a other form of setup. Fast fall shine to waveland out of it, and then of course you get the tech chase with the forward strong after. Excellent stuff from Sundra, who's up a whole stock here.
Yeah, this is really strong. I mean, we'll see how GREMLINMAN enters back here, but oh my god, barely gets in between those hits of the get up attack, and Sundra getting just a free recovery out of it. Right now, this is a really strong lead, and just feels like good momentum here for Sundra. Orcane, yep, you cannot pop those bubbles in neutral. That's the second time now that you've gone for it. It's the second time you've gotten parried. So I'm sure GREMLINMAN will adapt, but it's definitely tough going from playing online and, fighting people who will get hit by those things to now being in the big leagues and not having some of your options that felt very powerful that be available to you.
Next to Hedgehog in order to close out the stock, but I 100% agree, right? Like, and consider how tasty the interaction is. Like, if you don't parry those bubbles, then suddenly you get a ton of bubbles on shield. You're so positive, you just get to control the game. But Sundra, he's playing fast, and he's making sure to recognize, react, and overcome the situation based off purely what he thinks is going to happen, not able to follow up a nice tech to get out of there from GREMLINMAN. Holding steady, this game getting mighty even here, Saber, as we go back on the final stop.
Yeah, and I mean, as we mentioned earlier, obviously Zetto does have that exploitable recovery, so just because the percentage lead is in Sundra's favor, and just because Zetto has the kill power to make it happen, all it takes is one interaction here from GREMLINMAN, and it could be his game. But Sundra gonna make it back to ledge.
That was a super unfortunate trade there for GREMLINMAN. Had a huge opportunity to close up the stock, and trading with Zetter down special was rough. Taking the tech chase, we're down strong. No puddle in order to empower it. Yet the follow up with
gets the fire. Oh, but beautiful forward strong, and that was a big comeback there from GREMLINMAN. Just clutching it hit by hit until eventually they were back to even.
After so much of a spastic style game plan, like constantly forcing interactions, the plat drop back air as a reversal option, then just getting hit with honestly, an Orcane classic, just puddle into immediate dash in forward strong, force them to respect the hitbox. And that's what can be problematic for players that move around a ton and just want to play like fast and loose with a lot of wave lines, wave dashes, and everything in between. Sometimes you just gotta force them to respect hitboxes and move around those and play around those rather than just get to do whatever you want.
Exactly, yeah. That threat right there is so scary from Orcane, because if you get caught slipping even once holding out, that forward strong, when empowered, can it can kill at like 80. It's really strong.
Oh, yeah.
But we're seeing already Sundra going straight back to trying to read those bubble pops. You saw they just stood on top of the puddle and tried to parry immediately. So clearly they know what their win conditions are. They're trying to play to them, but GREMLINMAN looking really clean.
Nice parry there nice bubble pop there immediately on seeing the jump from Sundra. Jump in on the shine, being as careful, but there's another bubble pop. Something that is always impressive to see from any sort of fighting game is a matter of insistence on a certain player, and amount of stubbornness on how willing you are to stay to a game plan. And sometimes being the more stubborn player ends up winning you the set.
Yes, exactly. You have to know when to give, but at the same time, if they think that you're going to switch to something new, sometimes that's the best time to do it again. And so if you can get that mix-up and, keep your opponent guessing, and sometimes you have the right answer, you just did something wrong. But in this case, I feel like, Sundra's game plan isn't bad. GREMLINMAN is just really clutching out these stocks first and doing such a good job of finding these openings with Orcane.
Had the opportunity Dacus that they wanted for the first stock, but get cleaned up on the second, and we are back to what is largely a neutral, though starting to pull ahead here at 66%, though, as you said earlier, Saber. Percentage is really hard to track in a matchup like this because both players and both characters can get exploited off stage extremely hard, and both of them have so much raw kill power. Amazing DI in order to get away from the puddle. Up strong, tries it again.
Yeah, I mean, that one didn't kill, but the next one probably will. And we see GREMLINMAN just ripping these hydro planes right now. Completely knows, you're in a position where you've got a huge lead. All you need is one move before you start racking up the damage on that next stock. Okay, there we go. That confirms that GREMLINMAN can ledge dash, which is, once you start threatening that, you don't even have to do it, but it's important to know that that's an option, so love to see that coming out.
That was a monumental parry. Unfortunately, the second puddle comes out, but you also one opening from Sundra, and it was almost 100% just off of that singular opening. Wanted the Gatling, but did not connect on the dash attack. Instead, we're retreating back, playing as quickly and as fast as possible in order to maneuver around these hitboxes that he feels like he knows are coming. The downer into the upstrong, closes down the stock, and at 142%, Sundra takes his first lead of the game.
Exactly, and I love seeing that the teleport there. Not quite going to get the kill. Probably would have killed last patch, but they did nerf that kill throw just a little bit. But either way, tons of damage here. All GREMLINMAN needs is a down strong, a forward air, an up air. So many kill moves that Orcane can bring to the table at this percent.
Wanted another parry. I love seeing Sundra utilize parry. Oh, the nair bounce was sick.
Great nair bounce. It's such a good option against crouching opponents. Those two hits in quick succession can be really tough for people to deal with if they're not ready. And GREMLINMAN, love the moonwalk to ledge, checking on so much damage.
I'm surprised we didn't see anything like a nair or a back air there. Instead, it just looked like GREMLINMAN wanted to grab, and now we lose that opportunity, and suddenly getting chain grab, getting caught in this massive scramble, but you take it to the bank, no up strong conversion.
Go for these up strongs. I mean, if he can land one at this percent, that will do it, but that was so much damage so fast from Sundra. Trying desperately to stay in this game despite the percentage deficit, and all it takes is one down air, one parry. Yeah, that's it. Wow, beautiful comeback there by Sundra. Just keeping the game close the whole set and clutching it out at the end on that last stock. Really great showing there. So we'll see where we go for game 3. I mean, I'm curious if we're gonna go die again, or we're going to see a counterpick somewhere else now, but they both seem pretty comfortable on this stage. They've both clutched a game from the jaws of defeat. Really, it felt like they should be 1-1, but they should have won the games in the opposite order from how they were going. So, Very interesting to see where we go for this game 3. Alright, Merchant. That'll be, should be interesting. Lots more room for Zetter to maneuver.
Yeah, the platform movement is amazing on both sides, so it's hard to say how much this specific stage gives to either character, if it gives to both of them an equal amount. But I do like the fact that we are getting a lot more room. I think that's something that GREMLINMAN has been wanting from Godai Delta, and Merchant Port will absolutely give that to you.
Yeah, agreed. I mean,
break.
Yeah, the downside obviously is you have to do a little more work to get Zetter off stage, which is where you want to make your money against Zetter. But at the same time, we see GREMLINMAN doing a great job with these tech chases, and overall, I don't think he necessarily needs those gimps in order to close this set. Doing a great job without him right now.
Using the downward angle in order to get to ledge immediately. Sundra looking to establish that offense, but in the same vein of doing more work to force a character off stage, this just means that you have a lot more of center stage to play with, which is what GREMLINMAN has been enjoying immensely across the latter half of this first stock.
Yeah, exactly.
You with the grab.
Okay, just whipping grabs right now. That F throw not gonna do it, but probably getting close. If you're GREMLINMAN here, I think your goal is to close this stock before it starts getting scary, because you're not too far away from a shine up strong if you let this play out longer. And speak of that bear up strong, almost gonna do it, but this definitely will. The momentum here really just swapping back and forth.
It's never a matter of the percent game. It's always a matter of the stock game between these two. Both as players, it seems like, and especially as characters. The high angle gets reversaled with the get-up attack twice over, not going to do it, and Sundra makes it back to stage yet again, and a beautiful parry.
Yeah, not able to get much of a punish off it, but, start attack on the damage, and this all of this matters. I mean, we're talking halfway to kill percent right now on GREMLINMAN for this next stock. But remember, this is a best of 5, unlike the sets until this point, so this will not be the final game, no matter how it plays out.
But an important one for counterpick advantage, assuming that Sundra doesn't just go back to Godai Delta because it's his favorite stage, which is valid, but
which is possible. But I would say, I feel like often players will do this where they, go back to a stage, and then as soon as one person breaks the habit, it's pretty common for, both people to just start going to the real counterpicks. So we'll see. But right now, yeah, and GREMLINMAN, again, I mean, we're seeing him tack on the damage, no problem, but the question is, can he get these kills with the same effectiveness as Sundra? And he's gotta stop with these pummels. I don't know if he's doing the same one. Oh my god, the fireball. Beautiful snipe right there from Sundra, taking the lead with just a Hail Mary throw from downtown, but really impressive stuff there to take this lead.
Has no reason not to throw it out, and suddenly we had an opportunity to snowball, but one crouch cancel down tilt pickup, and suddenly you've got ourselves an even game on this lovely new background for Merchant Port.
Yeah, I do love
another special break.
Yeah, I don't know.
We are breaking throws.
At this point, stop pummeling. Just take the throw.
I understand it from a Sundra point of view, because you're trying to ignite as frequently as possible, especially since, for obvious reasons. But for GREMLINMAN to do a ton of normal pummels when you kind of just want the up throw at these low mid percents.
Yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong. Your pummels at 8%, you want that damage, but you'd rather have the grab. Like, if you have to pick between one or the other, just take the throw. But, I'm sure every time it's a mix-up, so...
Yeah, it's hard to tell every time. Going for that forward air, gets reverse forward aired instead, though. Fireball comes down.
Yeah, and so far, I mean, so far, I haven't seen really anyone successfully edge-guarding that teleport consistently, so... I mean, really, I would say Sundra is just respecting it and trying to cover everything else, but that forward air gonna do it and give Sundra the lead.
Another normal pummel break sets up for an air break at that time, holding up, and then just coming down with that sweet spot forward air, forcing people to respect it. Always try to play your hitboxes first and foremost, and then evolve from them and how your opponent reacts to them. You know, fighting games 101, and Sundra and GREMLINMAN are both letting some of these hitboxes rock, but not letting their throws rock. Another throw break leading to the demise of game number 3.
Exactly. So we're gonna see. I mean, right now, Sundra 1 game away from making top 8 here. We're gonna see what GREMLINMAN's counter pick is. I guess it's probably locking in the Orcane again, but we'll see what the character choice, what stage choice is. Could be a shorter stage this time. Could be running it back. I mean, I do feel that wasn't necessarily a terrible stage, but losing on your counter pick is never a great feeling when you're on that critical game 3.
Hard to say. We're really thinking about it, but is locking in the Orcane, as previously stated, I mean, GREMLINMAN does have a Loxodon. Could have been considering that. Could have just been taking a breath as we go to a different stage, as you called out, Saber, here on Tempest Peak for game number 4, a survival game for Gremlin in Winterside.
Exactly, and I do think that this shorter stage, if you're GREMLINMAN, the goal here is I want Zetterburn off stage, and I want him off stage now. Pretty much every situation is going to end in Zetterburn being at the ledge or off the stage. So if you have the opportunity to go for those edge guards, all it takes is one to really open up this game and get a lead.
You know, win condition discovered and analyzed. It's just gonna see how well you can play to it, especially given the value that Zetterburn can get is just so hard in order to play around.
Exactly, yeah, and again, I mean okay,
so good.
You know, a little antsy on that F smash, but overall, the value we're seeing out of these parries on puddle is just crazy. Sundra is doing such a good job at consistently parrying them and really just threatening the option. This is something that we were mentioning with sliding parries, but I just don't see people consistently parry bubbles this much. And Sundra looks confident at it. So that's such a huge value in this matchup.
Always funny to see how much hit stun down air puts you in at those high percentages. Like it's
just a
solid
Falcon Stomp.
It was a solid second.
Yeah, you know, you could go grab yourself a cup of coffee, come back, pick up the controller. All right, time to get this up smash.
There's the up strong. Yeah. Speaking of the hydroplane up strong, or excuse me, that was just a Dacus.
That was just a Dacus, yeah. But we have seen some hydroplanes earlier in this set. We're curious to see if we get any more.
Empty land, but a little bit of an assumption on the tech chase rather than trying to react to it.
Yes, I think so, definitely. We saw there an attempted parry as well. I'm a little worried here if I'm a GREMLINMAN fan, just that, you know, I feel that Orcane is still ripping bubbles at the exact same rate that GREMLINMAN was in game 1. And that's been a huge source of openings for Sundra throughout the set. So I understand the value, but definitely a little worrying that, you know, this big kind of source of damage is still being left on the table.
At the same time, though, percent lead isn't in his favor, and the Ledgehog worked successfully that time. GREMLINMAN up a stock here, and you know the bubble usage might be the same as game 1, but he also won game 1, and this is easily the best he's looked throughout the set. With game number 2 being a close follow-up, though, of course. Comebacks did happen in game number 2, but we're a whole stock up here and starting to snowball.
Good, yeah. I love the droplet just interrupting the empty hop out of down B, and GREMLINMAN right now is doing such a good job of racking up this damage. Finally starting to get some of these pummels too, which is of course huge for getting damage. The throws do a little bit, but a pummel does 8 on Orcane, so that's just so much damage over time. But that up strong gonna do it, and all it takes is a couple interactions or an edge guard, one edge guard if you're Zetterburn here. So still a little scary for GREMLINMAN.
Of course, at 112, things like Orcane forward tilt start to be a menace, putting it way off stage, and then there's one Ledgehog to close out a JV2, and suddenly we have got ourselves a game number 5 for our first set of top 16.
Yeah, so we're gonna see the winner of this, of course, is gonna move on to fight the winner of Heels Good and Kodak. So this is a great spot to be in for either of these players. You would love to make it in top 8, love to guarantee yourself some additional points towards that invitational, and you certainly do not want to fight the loser, because I hate to say it, but the loser of the set is in the loser's path of Ben L, who is still on a rampage. So best of luck to whoever drops this game 5, but I'm sure that's a little bit of pressure for him.
Dude, this losers bracket is crazy. Like, Ben L. Hayes, Mo Kitty up against Andrews, of which Andrews is currently up 2-1. YXL against Emu Killer, and then Aunt Lucio. It's like, bro, there's no winning. Like, don't go into losers.
all of these sets are brutal, yeah. So, I'm very excited to see how this Game 5 plays out, but GREMLINMAN's got all the momentum, it feels like, right now. Just looking really strong in this set. And
yeah, that Game
like
4
I said,
was a statement.
Yeah, Game 4 is a statement. We are almost certainly going to see a longer stage for Game 5. Yeah, slightly longer here, and with these additional platforms. I think Sundra really hoping that the layout here on Dojo is going to help out, but
yeah, I think what it lacks in much more horizontal length, it way makes up for with that extra dimension of a consistent third platform, mattering so much to how Zetterburn typically loves to recover. Though we're seeing GREMLINMAN just like play the scrambles so well and hold down this bottom floor. If you want to climb the stairs, you've got to get through the Guardian.
Exactly, and I mean, yes, this stage is amazing for Zetterburn, like the combo and recover. I mean, he's one of the best up airs in the game for juggling. But right now, he just hasn't had the chance. And those platforms are also a great way for GREMLINMAN to chase him closer to that top blast zone with these waveland up airs. Beautiful nair floater. GREMLINMAN. I mean, this is the most momentum I think we've seen out of him this entire set. So obviously, this is what you love to see on a Game 5, is someone like this starting to come alive if he can maintain this momentum.
Yeah, it's a perfect time to do so. Like game number 5, final game of the set, winner gets top 8. Now is the time to cash out on any reads, any information you have, and any momentum you've built up. Now's the time to do it. And it seems like that's part of GREMLINMAN's plan, but Sundra's slowly but steadily starting to whittle his way back into this. But a couple of these tech chases just really aren't going his way.
Yeah, exactly. And I think part of the problem too is if you always have this kind of question when you're down a stock like this is, do I start just trying to get damage, or do I just go for an early kill and try to extend the lead? And I think right now GREMLINMAN, it really feels like he's trying to extend the lead. He's not just trying to trade and fish for damage. He wants to end this set now. We're seeing him go for these big, strong attacks and just opportunities for huge damage, but down strong tech chase is going to do it for Sundra, and they really need to make something happen this stock, I think. You don't want to enter the last stock with this big of a deficit.
No, you need one juggle, one platform conversion, one something. Nair into grab would have been exactly that something, but not going to get it.
But not quite. And we saw that's a hydroplane right there. We saw GREMLINMAN slide the whole stage looking for that up strong. But a back throw is going to do it, no problem. That kill throw, so good. May even be stronger than F throw after the nerfs to F throw this patch, but also just extremely good in that position. And then right now, GREMLINMAN tacking on the damage again. Oh yeah, when you catch them point blank with those bubbles, you can do whatever you want. Get a back air, charge a strong attack, take your pick.
Still very much insisting on the neutral pummel as his preferred follow-up after grabs. We see a couple shines here. Opportunity, back throw up strong, back air up strong after the up throw, but not going to close out
that
the
didn't kill, but
me as well.
GREMLINMAN hanging on for dear life and tacking on so much damage as a result. That back air, the down air, not able to get that F strong, but I mean this is truly one interaction away for GREMLINMAN right now. And Sundra missing that up smash is a heartbreaker.
That is kind of a set sealer in a lot of ways. Like, you had the second stock, and you're missing one confirm, not able to get up the second. Finally, just the straight up F strong will do it. But 104% here, far from out of it. Sundra keeping a cool head and keeping his mind on the goal, but so far behind.
Yeah, I mean, you need to play this stock so perfectly, and we haven't seen the kind of 0-to-death punish game on either side that really makes this kind of comeback something you would expect. I mean, this is going to be your nickel and diming this for the rest of the set, and this is a lot of damage, but I mean, we're near 12%.
With Orcane being the nickel and dime character sometimes.
Exactly. Orcane is the nickel and dime character. You've spent this entire stock avoiding a raw forward air, a wake up down strong.
He's doing a
And
good
you
job
know,
of it thus far.
but you also Gremlin Man is just looking for those kill moves like that forward air. And Sundra started to pull this back. I mean, you know, all you need to do, like, you can lose neutral to the random things. You just can't get hit by the moves like that. And sometimes that's all you need, but beautiful read on that up air. And Gremlin Man gonna clutch out the tightest of game 5s to take our first spot here in top 8.
It was looking so bad, and then it was looking so good. It was like it was really starting to get there, and then the jump up air from ledge closed down the game, closed down the final stock of a 3-2 finish for Gremlin Man.
Yeah,
You
I was
know,
starting to believe. Like,
I was in there. I was
I was
like,
like, no, there's no way. And then, like, Sundra started to pull it back.